So, let's do the news for today, date of 15th of April 2020. I need to make myself like a little script, so it's just like I say this thing. I working at a call center years back, it does wonders where you have that little like intro where you just like you say that rhythmic thing. But I haven't quite figured out what I want to say because it's kind of embarrassing. Alright, let's jump on in. So we're actually going to be working a little bit backwards today, I think. So Sony is giving away anyone with a PS4 2 free games. They are the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, and I think it was Journey. Yeah, so both of those games are very good. If you have a PS4, suggest jumping on that. I'm probably I think I own both those, so probably doesn't impact me as much, but yeah, if you are looking for some games and you have a PS4, check them out. There are some other IPs that I do know that are floating around, I think like Assassin's Creed and stuff, that are free to play at the moment, so if you're looking for games, maybe check out, there are some free things floating around. This one was a weird one. A friend of mine linked this to me. So I never played Bravely Default 2, but I played 1 and I loved it. But there is now a new Bravely Default, Bravely Default 1, Bravely 2nd, and now there is Bravely Default 2 coming out. Very confusing. Second is now being apologized for by the director and the writer, and I don't know why. I know people that have played this and said that it was an extremely good game. It did have its issues in terms of its ending sort of stuff because they didn't quite know what they wanted, but it's apparently people had a bad reaction even though the game reviewed well, it sold decently. I don't know. Super weird. I don't know why they had to apologize. This feels like just a thing because it might have been confusing. I don't know. But yeah. That was just weird, frustrating news for me, but a friend of mine linked this. Apparently you in XCOM you can now interact with the aliens at a higher market, on a friendly basis, and they wear clothes. I don't know. So here's some aliens in clothes. I'm not an XCOM fan, so I don't really know what the hell's going on there. This one was a sadder piece of news, but inevitable, I guess. So Terraria's devs have made a post about it seemingly this is the end of the content they're probably releasing for the game. I mean, Terraria's been running for so long. Like, Terraria will launch, Journey's End will launch on PC for May 16th, 2020. Now, like, Terraria release date. Terraria has been getting content for so long. It came out in 2011. That's almost 10 years for that game. And it got a pretty sizable amount of content. Probably not 10 years worth, I would say. But that's because they were split over. They also made like Starbound and stuff. So I am excited to see what their finale will be for that game. I really like Terraria. So anyone who has a Switch, they probably noticed they got an update. So firmware update 10.0 came out. So there's lots of little details. Some things that were very sort of important and interesting were things like the fact that you can move system data and save data and DLC and blah 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 to different storage areas. Way better. This is amazing. I love this piece of news. They added an option to remap controller buttons. Now, this isn't profile based or game per game base, so it is limited, but it's very good in terms of disability assistance or just accessibility, or if you really hate a mapping on a particular game, you could just jump back out, change it for that game, and then do that. Probably want to reset it back though regularly, I would imagine. So yeah, so I think that's pretty awesome news. This one's a bit of a sad one. Again, most of my news I just do it in whatever order I open the tabs, so that be that. Sad news, Rick May, he was a voice actor for various games such as Star Fox and Team Fortress and stuff, has passed away due to COVID. There's been a lot of nice eulogies and people doing in-game events to honor his memory. He was pretty old, he was 79, so he lived a good life. But yeah, a bit sad when you have like very notable people, voice actors and things like that, when they pass away. Alright, moving on. We have ESRB intros new label for loot boxes. So, I've probably never had a rant on stream about loot boxes and my distaste for a lot of gacha systems and how mobile and stuff. I don't think in-game purchases are evil. I don't believe that... I feel like devs need to have ways to be able to make money in harder climates and different areas and stuff like that. But holy heck, this was needed for so long. I cannot stand that loot boxes exist almost unscathed in the industry. I am pretty against gambling, and this is unmitigated gambling. Like there's no control on this. You like there's some crazy ass stuff. The term whale is a commonly thrown around thing when it comes to games like gachas and things like that, and if that's being thrown around, that means that people are getting away. Like there are refund policies and things like that, and people have sued for large amount of monies, but at the end of the day, there's still people who aren't doing insane amounts, but still large amounts of money, and it's pulling it out of people, and it is preying on addiction at the end of the day. So especially this article talks about with children and stuff like that, and imagine if you have a phone just set up and it has like your passcode, your thing, and your kid gets a hold of it, and then they just start buying things on a game or whatever, and it's like you're losing small amounts of money or something. There needs to be something done. Various countries have looked into like banning or controlling it, but nothing super has been done. But this is a good start. Hopefully we see more. But at least you'll know when you pick up a game whether or not it is got loot boxes or random rolls. I might move on to another ESRB one here. We have ESRB and Peggy are working remotely, so don't expect delays. So I talked about how Japan's ratings board was saying that they are taking time off and they're not going to be doing work for yeah, it's going down here. Sero's rating boards are suspended till May 6th, so it will probably impact Japanese games. Don't know to what extent. Hopefully wouldn't impact a lot of the global sort of situation for video games, but here we have the ESRB and Peggy saying that it probably won't affect them. It might, but unlikely. This was a sort of out of the blue one. I think I talked about Crysis on the April Fool's Day. They had like a page, but no one really knew what was going on there. It seemed to be like a teaser, but it was on April Fool's. Now we had like a post from the Crysis Twitter, which hasn't posted for like 10 years or something, just saying receiving data. I agree with this person's this top voted comment. Was my first thought was this, not having a Crysis 4, which was that we are likely to see a remaster of Crysis and Warhead maybe. So, well, Crysis. Hang on, what's this? Crysis was published EA back in October, and EA announced more exciting remasters for fan favorites, besides Command and Conquer. Yeah, okay. I believe that. That we'll see how that goes. We'll probably hear an announcement sometimes during the year, I would imagine. All right. Moving on, we have Animal Crossing Nook's Cranny upgrade system requires a substantial amount of money and time. So this is just an article. It's not super duper news. It's basically that if you play Animal Crossing, you probably know that you can upgrade Nook's Cranny, the store, but people have been getting varying reports and stuff. But there's a data miner, his named Niji, who has discovered the code specifically for that, and it's very straightforward, very similar to previous Animal Crossings. So I don't understand quite why there's variancy, because I actually have friends that have had different results, so I don't know what's going on there, but it might be because of time traveling. Because I know I don't have it yet, and I feel like if by what this report says is I probably should have it by this Sunday, I would imagine. But basically what it states is that you have to have Nook's Cranny open for 30 days. No, so not having the game, it's you have to have Nook's Cranny open for 30 days. 200 bells spent there, that's not too hard. And then finally you need to have the Able Sisters as well, which, though the other two minus the days are pretty easy to achieve. The days, it's just time locking it. But as to why people have it earlier, I don't quite understand. I think it might just be to do with time traveling, maybe sort of an out for people that have. But yeah. Next is we have, so Guilty Gear beta is out. This is the closed beta that you had to sign up for. People are getting access to it. I love Guilty Gear. Xrd was amazing. It's probably my favorite fighting game ever. It's so good. If you've never played Xrd and you've never played Rev 2, the expansion, go pick them up. Go play them. They are the most style, best feeling fighting games I've ever played. They're so good. Not enough praise. I love the art style of that game so much. But something weird's happening with Strive. So Strive is the new Guilty Gear that will be coming out. And it's kind of weird. Not gonna lie, really weird. So I'll go in reverse because the least offensive first. So the UI has been changed again. The original was not great. The in-game UI is super weird. It's really hard to read. They talk about it like it's in development, but it's rough. It's super rough. But yeah, so now they're changing it, but people are still not happy with it. You can see there's a lot of placeholdery sort of stuff. Like it's weird they're not using any old assets, but there's a lot of. I think it's just to recertify that it's new. They're making it from the ground up. Pretty much that's the thing about this new Guilty Gear. Everything seems to be made from the ground up, and it's pretty weird that they would make those choices when Xrd was so good. And they figured out a lot of stuff when making like BlazBlue Cross Tag and things like that. But yeah, like look at this menu. This is not Guilty Gear. That's not Guilty Gear. This looks like a mobile game. But then the worst offender is this. So if you're familiar with any ArcSys lobbies, you have your little 3D little cartoony figures that you would have from based on the characters from the game and stuff. They look great. I love the lobby systems. I think my favorite of the lobby systems is probably Xrd's. I love that you walk up to an arcade machine to play with people. I know people have issues with like ones like the DBZ one, and I think the BlazBlue one's not very good. Cross Tag one's not very good. But yeah, it's This is... what is this? I honestly, we thought it was a joke when we first saw it, or it was an extreme placeholder, but it was in the trailer. This is what the lobby avatars will look like. Little pixel men running around in pixel houses. That does not match any Guilty Gear stylings whatsoever. And, yeah, there's a thing here. It wasn't an April Fool's. Everyone is very unhappy with this. No idea what the hell's going on here. So, I don't know if... I feel like this has had too much effort that it will not change. I think this is what it will be. I know people have talked about that it looks like it's based off another Crysis. I don't know if it was like a mobile game, or I can't remember what it was, but it had sort of pixel art similar to this, so they're wondering if it's that team has been brought in specifically to do the lobby for whatever fucking reason. But, this is super exciting news for me. I've talked about this during my Monster Hunter streams. We knew this was coming, but we now have a date. So Kulvetroth and Tempered Namiel will be released on April 23rd. So I think that is still because the festival is currently running, and I think it's running for 2 weeks. So that's the spring festival with all the flowers. That will be running for 2 weeks. So these two monsters should be released during that, which will be really good because it should be a lot of people playing at once. So you should be able to get a lot of hunts with other people. Should I play the trailer? Might hold off from playing the trailer for a moment. Yeah, I might hold off because I've been through quite a bit of news today. So basically, Arch-Tempereds, if you've played World's Old Base with DLC, you would have fought Arch-Tempereds. They're hard. They're going to be tough again. That's just how it is. Namiel is actually a tough tempered monster, so probably going to be a very dangerous fight with a lot of just insta-gibs. Especially because it alternates water and lightning. And then Master Kulvetroth. We could not kill Kulvetroth in the sieges that we had previously in high rank. In Master rank, we will be killing Kulv. You will be doing not a siege, you'll be doing a 4-player hunt that will transition through the last few stages, I believe. I don't think it's straight in the final room. I might be wrong. But we'll be able to kill Kulv. And get upgrades to the old weapons. Hopefully we get the nuggets, which I want for my blade armors. So, yeah. Looking forward to that a lot. That'll be a fun fight. It looks really intense. She, like, melts all the gold in the room and it pours down on you and you just have to avoid it. It looks really, really dangerous and fun. On with that, we also have the reveal of the new Arch-Tempered, not Arch-Tempered, the new Kulvetroth armor sets, and they're sexy. These are some sexy armor. Look at that hair. I kind of really dig that hair. I like big hair, so yeah. Don't know if they're going to be layered armors. We can only hope. That second one, the guy, that's a pretty evil-looking mofo. Hey Armin, welcome back. Almost to the news. Final Fantasy VII Remake producer talks about what's next. So I might actually not forgo going the full article, but basically it is just Famitsu interviewed the producer and about how they're looking at progressing and making new stuff. So it also seems to be there's spoilers related to it, so I won't actually go into that. But yeah, so if this interview is out there. If you care, go check it out. This is a little one. So like I said, the expansion for World of Warcraft Shadowlands is now on closed beta, invites only, and closed alpha, sorry, not beta. And but one of the things people have started data mining, and one of the things that people have been talking about is that DirectX ray tracing support has been noted, as well as variable shading. In layman terms, will make your game look very good. It makes lighting extremely good. If you don't really understand how that works, just go a really easy one. Go look up DirectX ray tracing for Minecraft. You know what Minecraft looks like. Just go look at it with ray tracing. Look at the difference of it. It's insanity. So controlled on a AAA game, it does wonders. It adds real life lighting to games. Very, very process heavy though, so you don't expect to use it with not a very good computer. And the last piece of news is something I may take advantage of, which is Final Fantasy does this every now and then, but it's a returners thing. Basically, if you haven't played Final Fantasy 14 for a little while, you can come back and get some free time. I don't know if this applies to me because I think I haven't been inactive for 30 days, but if you want to log in now, you'll get 8 days free, which is really good for doing some of the, like, if you play like me and you have on and offs to do the content as it comes out, then this works out. If you haven't played for a while, just jump back in, just check out what's fresh, what's new. There's quite a lot of content, so yeah. And I think that is all the news for today. As always, I kind of like, I've been enjoying doing 2 days worth of news. I think there's a lot more news I can compact rather than spreading it over and chancing the fact that some days might just be dead empty. But if it starts to slow down as April winds down, then like I said, I probably will start spacing these out more. Cool. All right. That's the news for today.